How are you today? We are Monday, September 21st. I am Jazz from Mystic Priestess School, and let's together create a life that has more soul and more love and more radiance, shall we? To do that, let's look into the energy that is ahead of us for this week and the season ahead so that you know how to choose your actions and your decisions so that you always work with the flow and not in chaos. Sounds good? So let's start with the card that we picked for the new moon reading just last week. So this card is Trust Your Intuition. Trust your intuition with all those beautiful fall leaves and the little keyhole that we need to work through because it might feel like we're just squeezing through another season. We're just squeezing through a new way of being. And it's really, really uncomfortable. And yet, the way through is the way to achieve that next level potential that we all have. The affirmation is my life is truly guided. My life is truly guided. And so, your journaling question is what would it feel like for you if you could trust that your life is divinely guided? What would your life be like for you, and what your business would be like for you if you learned to trust your guidance, if you learned to really create your life with soul and create your business with soul and have goals that make you sing as opposed to being stuck in the chaos or being stuck in, well, this is the way we've always done things, so you just have to follow. Is that soul crushing for you, or is that life enhancing? I want to help you create a life and a business that feels life enhancing, that makes you sing, not that make you feel stuck into a way of doing things that just doesn't speak to your soul. We don't need more zombies out there. We need people who are fully lit, fully awakened, fully joyful. It is joy, it is love that is going to change the world, don't you think? So, what would it be like for you to live a life where you fully trusted, that you're fully guided? Moving into trust is something that can be quite difficult or quite triggering. I know it was for me when I first started doing my Reiki path, and I think that was like over 10 years ago when I first was learning into Reiki. It was very difficult for me to trust. So I didn't fully trust myself. I didn't fully trust my teacher. And I didn't fully trust spirit either. So it was quite the journey over the past 10 years to really allow myself to be in that flow of trust. So I can help you, I can guide you through that. And I know that life is so much easier, so much joyful when you heal from those traumas that put the walls up around your heart, that put the walls up around your intuition. And oftentimes it's our own mind that is the worst enemy, right? And it's that feeling of perfectionism, that things have to be a certain way, things have to be perfect. You think that to be spiritual, you have to attain certain levels, or you have to wear certain things, or you have to eat a certain way, or you have to conduct yourself a certain way, or you have to purify yourself in a certain way. And because those feelings, those thoughts, those beliefs are so far away from where you see yourself now, you say, I will never be like that. I will never be spiritual. I will never be enough to be who I want to be. Those are beliefs that you hold, and those are the blocks. So you don't have to look outside too far away from yourself to know what are the blocks to your spirits. The blocks are inside, and they're inside your mind. It's the beliefs that you hold that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not disciplined enough, that it's too far, too big, too complicated, that you'll never get there. Those are your beliefs. Those are mental patterns, and we can work on those. We can shift them and bridge the gap in between where you are now and where you want to be. That's the type of coaching I do. So if you're interested, do message me, because I have 2 spots available for coaching for this season. So, trusting that intuition. This is a moon in Virgo, the lunation in Virgo. And it is about that perfectionism, how perfectionism stops you in your track from being who you are. That is the energy this month. So that is what you're being called to look within for yourself. Like, where is your perfectionism stopping you? And it can be in so many different things. I've seen it, and I've coached women through relationships because they felt, we've read just so many romance novels, and you have that archetype of what a perfect quote unquote relationship ought to be like, and we expect that, so our expectations are really high for our partners. Or we are soul-centered women, and we expect something very soulful from our partner, and they might just not be there, right? So we have all of those high expectations. We have those images of perfectionism. And so we stop from giving more of ourselves in the relationship because we never receive what we really want to receive. So again, that is that perfectionism, is those high standards. So in a way, I'm not really telling you to let go of your needs, but at the same time, Virgo is very practical, and you have to look at life the way it is. And you have to work with the energy that you have. You have to work with where you're now. So let's say that you've never taken any physics, and you tell me that my sole purpose is to become an astronaut. There's a little bit of coming down to earth, pun intended, to do first, right? Because your desired state is more of a fantasy, and there's the actionable items, the actionable actions for you to get to that dream state, to that ideal state, is just not really feasible in the 3D world that you get to play in right now. Because right now, if you're listening to this, you have a body and you're incarnated in 3D. So we have to play within what is available to you at this moment. And then you take the next step and the next step and the next step, and then you get to your goal. But sometimes you don't see the next step, or sometimes the goal is too far away that you don't even take the first step because you're scared, and that's just the ego, and that's something else that we work on. Am I making sense? So let me know. So when you work with the moon in Virgo, when you work with your shadow of perfectionism, it's more about, this is what I'm feeling in my soul. This is the direction that I'm feeling in my soul. And so I am willing, even if I'm afraid, even if I can't see the whole staircase, even if I can't see where this is going to lead me, I'm taking this step. And then I'm going to take the next step. And then I'm going to take the next step. And feeling completely divinely guided as you do that. So this is very helpful in so many ways, because focusing on the next step is a lot more manageable for the ego, right? When I was starting on my Reiki journey, if someone would have told me that I was going to do Facebook Lives, that I was going to speak to large audiences, I probably would have really freaked out, and I was freaking out. And then I didn't even want to start because so many visibility issues, or so many fears of being out there. And, this space is not perfect to be on video. And, there's so many objections that I would just list, and very rational objectives that I could list. But yet I had that faith that this is my soul direction. And so I took the next step and the next step and the next step. And that was a lot less scary than to take the big leap. So that's why you work on the next step. Makes sense? That's the type of coaching that I do. So that's what we work on with the moon in Virgo. Imperfect actions, perhaps, but yet it yields the result. And it's important to not stay in the fear, to not stay in that inner chaos, but to really listen to your soul and take practical action. Virgo is all about practicality. She's an earth sign, and she wants us to move forward. Virgo is also about rededicating yourself to your spirituality. This is a time of year where the virgins, the Virgo, will go to the temple and rededicate themselves to the goddess. And so therefore, if you want to deepen your spirituality, deepen your intuition so that you truly trust yourself, is a perfect time to do that when the moon is in Virgo. You rededicate yourself to your heart, to your highest self, to Goddess, to whatever symbol of spirituality that is good for you. But you make that effort, you recommit, you say your vow once again that this is my soul journey, this is what I listen to, this is what I'm working towards. This choice that you are making, this rededication, is going to help you as well move more into your sovereignty. As we move into autumn, this is the season of the Queen. So there are four main seasons, at least up here in the Northern Hemisphere. We have the four seasons, and each of the season is linked to a cycle of the goddess. So in the spring, we have the maiden. In the summer, we have the young mother. And in autumn, we're moving into the realm of the Queen. And in winter, it's the realm of the crone. So right now, it's the realm of the Queen. Who is the Queen? What is the energy of the Queen? What are you asked to embody this season? So you're asked to receive. That's one thing. The Queen allows herself to receive, not just give. We did that all summer. It's the outward action, it's the growth, it's the learning. And now when comes fall, we go within a little bit more and we say, oh, now I can receive. I'm making space. There's more space between action. It's about moving deliberately and not just doing everything because it's there on your plate, but really being choosy about what is really going to grow your soul coming up. You get to choose what your lessons have been. So what have you learned this summer? What have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about this new way of being socially? What do you love? What don't you love? What do you want to bring moving forward? What are the strengths? And what do you want to contribute in terms of social change? Those are all the questions that the Queen is asking, because the Queen does work for the highest good. And it's about sovereignty. It's about taking your space in the world. Knowing that being a queen and being sovereign is not power over others. It's not about your will. It's not about your egoic needs, but it's about taking charge of yourself. It's about taking charge of your energy again. It's about taking charge of what you want to radiate in the world around you. And from there, you help make the world a better place because you're calm, you're centered. That is the energy of the Queen. That is sovereignty, that ultimate confidence in yourself, that unshakable confidence in yourself. That also means that you're willing to let go of what no longer serves you. That can be friendships, that can be projects, that can be business lines, coaching programs, wherever you are. You're letting things go, just like the trees are letting go of the leaves that nourished them for the summer, but they're no longer useful in the next two seasons. And so they let them go and they go within and they build from the strength that they've accumulated over the past two seasons. Does that make sense? This is sovereignty. It's going within, tapping in your inner resources. So it's not power over others, it's power over yourself, what you choose and what is for the highest good. So that is the energy of the season. It's the energy of this week. It's a tall order. So it's about reconnecting with your source. It's about stepping into that sovereign self. It's about trusting your intuition. And it's about receiving. So at times you will need to have some help to release things that no longer serve you. If I just look at the tree that's outside my window here, it's a nut tree. I'm not quite sure what type of nut it is, but it's a nut tree. So right now the squirrels are having their feast days with the nuts. And so they help There's old branches that are coming down. There's a lot of nuts that are coming down, a lot of leaves that are coming down, because the squirrels are also acting as helpers, and they're also going to take those little nuts and they're burying them all over the lawn and in my front gardens. And so little babies are going to grow from that nut tree come next spring. So if you are that tree, if you are a little nuts like my nut tree, who is going to be your helpers? Who is going to help you release that old baggage? Who is going to help you propagate your ideas, propagate your sovereignty, so that come next spring, you'll be able to rise again, even more sovereign, even more confident, even more radiant? I can help you if you choose. I do have 2 spots open in my coaching program. If you're looking to working more on yourself, on your intuition, trusting your spirit guides, then there's the 3-month spirit guide coaching program that's open. But if you want to go even deeper and in your business and look into the different business lines, what you keep, what you release, how you're meant to shine in this lifetime according to your zodiac chart and according to your soul profile from the Akashic records. If you're looking to do all kinds of clearing to release beliefs that no longer serve you, release energies that is blocking you, then the soul fusion for your business is the right program for you. I can't wait to help you stand in your sovereignty, having that unshakable confidence, witnessing you helping make the world a better place. Much love, wrapping you up in so much light. Big hugs from my heart to yours.